we joined the church when I was a teenager. So I had never really, I knew from the jump, from a very early age, that I'm an extrovert, I'm a people person, I like to help people. So I always knew that I would be a part of some sort of social service, some sort of helping profession. And at the age of 14, 15, I was at St. Michael and All Angels Episcopal Church up the road in Stone Mountain, and Alicia Schuster-Weltner was our curate. She came right out of seminary, and for the first time, I could see myself in someone else who was in a leadership position. I mean, church or otherwise. And so I watched, I paid attention, and I just started noticing, I guess, people who looked like me, who had a heart like mine, who talked like me, doing this leadership thing in the church. And so there was no lightning strike or burning bush that said you were going to be a female clergy person in the Episcopal Church. It's not how it came to be. It was a slow roll. And next thing I knew, I was in seminary, and next thing I knew, I was being ordained, and it felt organic and real because of the examples that were around me. People like the Lori Lowe's and the Nancy Baxters and the Alicia Schuster-Weltners and the Mandy Brady's that I saw myself in. And so now here I am, almost 20 years on the other side of my ordination. And when I think of myself, my identity as a woman and a clergy person, what my hope is that other young women and girls will see themselves in me and in my female colleagues, right? As people who are not just capable of serving in the church, but worthy of it and called to it by God. When I think about 50 years worth of women being ordained in the church, honestly, even though, yes, you're absolutely right, 50 years is a drop in the bucket when it comes to, our entire ecclesiastical history, for sure. And, the ordination of women started, 9 years before I was born. So it's all I know. And when I think about the past 50 years, I'm just grateful, I see anniversaries and mile markers like this one as an opportunity to hug the necks of all of the women who have come before me, to recognize that I am standing on some really strong shoulders. And I see that 50 years as just building block after building block after building block. And I love that we celebrate it. And I'm also really grateful that it's normative now. I went to a Baptist college with a lot of conservative men. And when I was there, I won the preaching award. I was the religion, I know, awesome. I'm just like Martha Stern and Barbara Brown Taylor. I'm not at all. But as a young person, as a woman, I received an award that had never been won by a woman before, right? And I remember feeling embarrassed by that. And now, all these years later, my answer to that embarrassment, if I could go back and talk to that young woman, I would be like, no, this is your strength, right? I won that award because I was open and vulnerable, and because I learned how to use my own voice, and if I don't live with regrets, but if I could go back to my younger self who felt like she had to be something she wasn't, I would say, you are exactly who God called you to be, right? Exactly who God called you to be. And that is, I think, the message ultimately for everyone, right? No matter who you are, no matter what your faith background is, no matter where you are on the margins, no matter how close you are to the center, whoever you are is who God called you to be. And if you can lean into that, then that's where your strength is.